And I believe that comedians, like when you saw them go on a talk show and be funny, I believe that they were there like that all the time. I didn't know there was this, to some of them a darker side or shy or sort of introvert. I mean, because that whole the sad clown thing kind of got gassed up a little beyond. I mean, I've been guilty of that, but like there's a lot of other colors in there. There's the introvert, the shy person, the person who can't shut it off. There's a lot of different kinds of comedians as opposed to the he tells jokes and he makes everybody laugh and then he goes backstage and cries. It's not.
Which version of that are you?
Good question. What was I? I was detached emotionally and probably I didn't realize like how fucked up I was through my 20s and into my 30s. Like I remember listening to comics and their stories and stuff like that, and I sort of had this weird sort of all my pain was, I knew about it, but it was sort of floating just to the right or just to the left of actually feeling it. And through quite a long period of therapy, and and therapy was only effective for, it was sort of a finite thing where then it just became like, oh, I'm just going to go here and just talk or whatever. Because I didn't understand that I had to do the work. I thought I was just going to talk.
That was going to be magic.
Yeah. So it wasn't until, and then it was when I was not in therapy and I was actually, and I met the woman that I was going to marry, I had to like, and I was I realized that my anger and my just general demeanor around the house was causing her anxiety. And that's not something you want to do to anybody, forget about somebody that you love. So it really, like, that was a real watershed moment in my life. It was a very painful moment in my life because it's not like the TV shows, like Dr. Phil, you need to stop doing that and you got to stop doing this. And then that's it. It's like, no, it's years and years and years and years of trying and failing. I'm still doing it. And, I like to think I'm much better about it. And then, like, of course, having a kid really intensified, like, okay, this whole temper thing has to stop with me because that's sort of the demon in my family tree. Yeah. That everybody's got the demon that you try to, like, at least, knock it down a little bit before it. That would really. I know it's not going to happen. Just for the simple fact that I have the ability that at least when I screw up to be like, you're right, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. It's not acceptable, which is something that was not available to my generation. It was more, sit there and shut the fuck up, which caused you to feel like, I think that when I analyzed a lot of my anger, it was just immediately assuming I was not going to be heard. And so whatever was happening was something that I had to accept. And so when something was starting to go away that I didn't want, rather than just saying, hey, do you mind if, just not having your foot on my armrest, I would go from that to like, the only option was I had to flip out and start dropping the F word or just sit there and seethe. And like, it took me a long time. And I heard a lot of people and stuff. And it's just like, it was not something that I was proud of about myself. So it's something that I am still working on.
Is there an element of getting that anger out on stage so that it doesn't come out in your real life, or does it feel like that at all?
Yeah, well, one of the misunderstandings of me is that when I'm on stage doing like a character or yelling about something, I'm actually angry. It's like I'm not. I'm having fun.
Yeah. So it's
I'm having the time of my life. Yeah, if I actually I've gone on stage angry, okay? My act does not work.
Yeah.
And you get off stage. I get off stage. I have a headache. I feel bad, and I feel bad for the crowd, and I feel like I let them down, and that I selfishly let my day. It's like whatever happened in my day, it wasn't their fault, and they paid for a sitter, and they paid to have a show, not to have me just fucking go up there and act like a fucking baby. So there's a difference between that and having something that drives you nuts and sharing it with people, and then they can share in your frustration. That's the difference. And I think a lot of times when people say you're like an angry comic, it's like, it always makes me laugh because I sit there going like, they don't even, I'm having the time of my life. I mean, it's not like I don't go up there and blow off steam and stuff like that, but I'm not up there like, and what the fuck's with cell phones? I mean, I'm not like doing that.
Yeah.
Like I am aware of what I'm doing when I'm up there. So like when I'm talking about my anger or I go into something like that, I know what I'm doing. And I also, and as a comic, you're constantly, without even knowing it after a while, it becomes just like a muscle. You're just listening to the crowd. Do I need to speed up? Do I need to slow down? Am I going too far? Which I've, and then I always went, all right, that was a little too far for you guys. And they laugh and then it's diffused.
Yeah.
Because if I just went up there for an hour and just screamed and yelled about stuff, that would just be punishing people, innocent people. And I don't think I'd be selling tickets.
Yeah.